I'll begin by answering a question that some of you already have, and that is your name really Jake? I get this a lot, and the answer is, it is now. My father passed when I was about a year and a half old, and his name was Donald Jacobson. My grandfather's name is Donald Jacobson. My uncle's name is Lee Jacobson. And we're all Jakes. Military family, you will shorten Jacobson. It makes sense to me. It made sense to our family. I met my husband out dancing one night. Place called Harlow's. It was real classy back then. And he was dressed for a wedding, dressed to the nines. I was dressed to the nines because I was on a blind date, which I left that date when he took me to a buffet. So I called my girlfriend up and I said, come get me and let's go someplace classy. So we went to Harlow's, and these gentlemen are standing out front looking oh so tasty. And I said to her, one of those guys is mine. And through the process of shopping over the course of the evening, I danced the night away with this big, tall man, and I wrote my name on his hand. He woke up the next morning, looks at his hand, and says, my God, what have I done? Fast forward 15 years later, he calls the house that I'm staying in for my cousin's wedding. And he said, may I please speak with Jake? And my uncle said, there are 11 in the house. Which one do you want? To which my husband responded, the best looking one in the house. And we are married 15 years and will stay so because of that comment, for sure. So that's how I got my name, and people ask me all the time, and I think names are really important. It says something about us. People like to hear the name, first and last name said, and said correctly. So, Doctor, I thank you for taking the time to do that and honoring me. And I thank all of you for being here today because you did have a choice. You chose to be a member of Toastmasters, but you also chose to get out of bed this morning, get in your vehicles, enjoy a lovely day, and sit here. This is not my meeting, and I am not here to give you a show. I'm here to share information with you. So this is our time together. And when I ask you a question, oh, please answer. And when I say something profound, I want to hear an amen. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Amen.
All right, amen. Words are really interesting, and I have a great appreciation for words. And if I say something that just resonates with you, please write it down. I speak quickly. If I have a thought that passes through it, I think, oh, they're going to want to hear this, because you're a special audience. And when I speak tomorrow, I'll be speaking with another audience. My stories may change, and my thoughts will also go out to you. So you with me on this one? Today, my subject is leadership. My subject is, when you are a leader, how do you move forward and succeed? Because it's one thing to be a leader, it's another to accomplish and act on the possibilities that are in front of you. Leadership is not something that we do in response to our situation. Not at all. It's a way of being. You don't do leadership. You are a leader. It is your ongoing and consistent expression of yourself and your emotions that inspire others to act. Leaders know themselves and their purpose. And they use this knowledge as their internal compass. Right here. This is it. They know who they are, And with this purpose, they align their actions with a sense of purpose. Leaders. They act from a space of authority. Leaders. They stand tall. They live like there's no tomorrow. They live with certainty, with calm, and with power. Doesn't that rock? They live as the CEOs of their lives. CEOs, you sit before me, or possibly sit before me. How many CEOs do I have in the room? When I leave, I want to hear, let's see, all of you saying, amen. Amen. I am a CEO. A CEO is the person that has the vision. Do you have a vision for your life? If you don't have a vision for your life, you are not the leader of your life. You are allowing somebody else to be the boss of you. When I spoke with Ted Collins, and he was the former CEO for Raley's, and we said, what was it like being a CEO for this family-owned business? And he said, you know what? All I had to do was take on a vision and ask others to embrace it. All you have to do in your life is take on that CEO leadership cap. By the way, hats, here's something, side note. We always say, oh, I wear so many hats. Actually, it's shoes. I think it's shoes. We don't wear hats anymore. Talk to an entrepreneur, they say, oh, I'm wearing so many hats. Shoes serve a purpose. Everything you do, you align your actions with your purpose. When I get up in the morning, I put on my running shoes because I'm going running and I'm focused. I go to the office, I put on some sensible shoes. I go out dancing, oh, those puppies are high heels. I'm ready to get out there and do my thing, because wherever you are, you want to be there. And as a leader, wherever you are, you want to be there. You have unlimited possibilities in your life. Unlimited potential to take advantage of those possibilities. Potential. Capable of being but not yet developed. That's what it means. So you could have more money in your life, more time, more energy, more love in your life. But you have to develop it. Capable of being but not yet developed. That means you as the leader need to go out and take action in order to develop it. It's just sitting there waiting to happen. Now, what prevents people from acting on their desires?
Lack of support.
Lack of support, okay.
Fear and limiting beliefs.
Fear and limiting beliefs. Absolutely. Lack of support. I'm going to hold on to that one, because life situations can hold us back, can't they? They do. So fears. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how fears prevent us from succeeding. And then we'll talk about what happens when life happens. 3 fears. 3 fears that hold us back. What do you think those fears are?
Rejection.
Go ahead, Luana.
Failure.
Success, failure, one more, you got it. Come on, you're on a roll, sister.
And what if I do, what do I do if it doesn't measure up to what I did before?
Okay, I'm going to keep that into that somewhat being hard on yourself. But that's also a possibility of rejecting yourself. Right? Oh, I might not do that well, so I just won't do it at all. Those are the top 3. Luana, give her a hand. All right! Success, fear of success. It's so confusing that that would be the case. For me, it just didn't happen. Just didn't happen. When I was a kid, my mom was she's ill. She will always be ill. And she didn't have the support that she needed in her life. And there were times when she would be high as a kite, the happiest woman, beautiful as all get out. And somebody would say, you have all this potential. There's so many possibilities. And you could be rich, and you can have money, and you can have time, and you could be off with your kids. And oh, she said, yes, I'm in. And she got a whiteboard, and she practiced over and over the idea of this company, MLM company, called Amway. And she practiced writing her goals. And then from there it would spin off. And then this would happen. She could have a car. You know, the one I was thinking about, what your mom had said, these are my goals, and this is what I want. And I sat and I watched and I watched and I watched. And then she invited people over, and they arrived, and she was in her room. And she wasn't coming out. She was going through depression, so she was on her downtime. But I knew this was important because she was going to get money and free time, and so I said, well, I'll do it. I made up the little snacks for everybody, and they all sat down, and here's this 6-year-old girl who got up there, and I wrote down my goals. And I had a bicycle on here, and a Barbie on there, and by the end of the meeting, 2 people signed up, and everybody bought something. They said, if this kid can do it, I can too. The can-do attitude that goes with it. So I have to say that when I speak about success and I seem fearless, it's because I never had the idea that something I was going to do wouldn't work out. Power of positivity that was there. But that's not for all people, because there's the idea of, do I get up there, do I step into that possibility, or do I just say, Mom's not feeling very well today? Some people have never had that positivity around them. So this idea of success isn't even there to begin with. Others are so afraid that what happens if I am successful, then I'm going to have to do more. Live up to my own expectations. And then what if this, and then I'll have to have a big building, and then I'll have to have all these employees in the building, and then I'm going to have to get a copy machine, and then I'm going to have to, and they just get ahead of themselves. You know what? How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. I really have to research where that came from, because that's gross. I just don't want to eat an elephant ever. Ever. That's what it takes, though, is one step. When you're training for a marathon, you don't get up and run 26.2 miles. First time I ran a mile, I said, wow. And later, when I was running 10 miles a day, that laughable about that whole mile thing that I thought was, oh my God, mile. I was like, yeah, a mile a day. And then at 10 miles, I just thought, what was a mile? Just a step in front of me. When I was developing my business, and it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I said, wow, I see where this is going, and if I don't take some time out for myself right now, balanced life, incredibly important, I may never get to do what I'm going to do now. Not with the body that I have now, the energy that I have now, So I said, I'm going to do what everybody else did when they graduated college, and I'm going to backpack through Europe. I'm going to do this. I was already in my mid-20s, and I said, no, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this by myself. To which my girlfriend freaked out and said, I better join you, because you may never come back. I'll say a little bit too much about myself also right now, and that is, we landed first in Amsterdam. Things were a bit of a fog, and it took me a while to figure out how to continue forward. But eventually I did, and I made my way down to Greece. And there's an island there, it's called Corfu. Anybody ever heard of Corfu? Do you know about the Pink Palace? No, okay. Again, saying a little bit about ourselves, aren't we? Okay. And in Corfu and the Pink Palace, they have these day trips that go out to an island called Cucumber Island. It's a volcanic rock that shoots up out of the water. and it's 60 meters high. This is 3 stories, is it not? Okay. So we're looking at 3 stories high. So I'm gonna jump off of that because I found out there's a big party on the other side and it's unlimited drinks. And I about used up my money. So I said, all right, unlimited drinks. All I have to do is go out on this boat and get up on this rock and jump off. All you gotta do. So I'm on a boat that's gonna take us out there to this rock. And the captain says, you should know, there's only one way on and only one way off. No big deal, that's all right. I'm jumping off this thing because I can do anything. I will succeed. And I did say, what do I do? You know, I don't want to hit my head and knock myself out or anything like that. What do I do? And he said, oh, it's real simple. The way that gravity works, all you have to do is take one step. One step? All right. Not going to eat an elephant. All I have to do is take one step off the cliff. No big deal. So the boat pulls around and I take off my shorts and my shirt and give it to the captain to take over to the party. And here I am in my little bikini and I'm going up the backside of this volcanic rock. And my knees are getting bloodied up and I'm rethinking what I'm wearing as I'm going on up there and also looking back at the waves crashing against it. And he was right. There's only one way off. And I get up to the top and my girlfriend says, we're gonna do this together. Let's hold hands. All right, this sounds great. And I turn a corner and I see a row of gentlemen on this side, a row of gentlemen on this side. I don't know how long they've been in Greece, but I've never seen somebody so pale, so white, all of them just shaking their heads, shaking their heads. You know what? Attitudes are contagious. And I looked at my girlfriend and said, I gotta get off. I gotta get off here right now because that is not gonna happen to me. And she's like, okay, well, let's hold hands. I said, hold up. Walked over, looked over the side. It was a lot taller from up there. So I went back to her and I said, it's just me. I gotta do this. Because right now, there's one person on this earth that I trust, and it's me. And I walked down to the edge of that thing, and I closed my eyes, and I took that step. Oh, yeah! There's one thing that the captain also said. Keep your legs together and your arms at your sides. Ouch! I was very grateful for the party on the other side. Had I not taken that step, how long would it have taken me to succeed? How long would I sit there with my hands in my head, wondering? Eventually, I would have to jump. Would I jump later in the day? See, because the day's going to go on. So, when does it happen? There was no other way to move forward until I said to myself, you must succeed. That's the difference between success and failure. My daughter wants to be a veterinarian. And she said, I don't think I'm going to do it, Mom. I said, what do you mean? You love animals. This is something that you've talked about forever. She said, well, I just met with a college counselor, and it's going to take me 10 years. 10 years. And I said, honey, are you going to be 28? Well, I hope so. And I said, me too. And I said, do you want to be 28 without a degree, without that dream of having this veterinary license? Or are you going to say, did that? You can be 28 with it or without it. You're going to be 28 at some point, right? But what she was doing was rejecting herself. See, rejection, that's that other fear. Fear, fantasizing about experiences that appear real. I'll say that again, F-E-A-R. Fantasizing about experiences that appear real. Fantasizing. I said, honey, if you want to fantasize, I could think of a lot of things to fantasize about. I'm not going to fantasize about fear. I'm not going to fantasize about putting off my future. Not a chance. Rejection. The only person that can reject you is truly you. Now, I have a higher power. And those of us that have a higher power, there's a connection there. There's a love connection. And if you need to seek that love connection within you, right here, by the way, this is your instinct. If anybody who follows chakras, your head will convince you of anything. Your heart will lie. But right here, these are your instincts. This is that intuition that we have. This is what I say, that internal clock that tells us what's right and what's wrong. Right here. And that's also where we're attached to our higher power. And that, he will never reject me. And I will never reject him. And he put me on this earth to do great things. And I refuse to dishonor him. Whatever you believe, know that you are here for a purpose. And it is not nice to reject yourself. Not everybody is going to want what you have, by the way. So if you are in sales or you do have a thought that you want others to embrace, keep in mind, not everybody wants it. That's okay. Do I want what everybody has to sell? No. I don't always say yes. Oh, if we have time, I'm going to tell you how to say no without pissing anybody off. Want to hear it? Okay, good. I'll make sure we get there. So when we have this idea of rejection, understand that some people really don't have the money. Some people really don't have the time. It's nice when they're honest. It really is. And we want to encourage people to be honest. And in our hearts, we can be honest with whatever that situation is. It's life. Speaking of life, let's move on from those fears and talk about this whole thing called life circumstances. I referred to my daughter. I'll tell you about my mom. She had all kinds of dreams. Her circumstances that she has a mental disorder that prevents her at times from functioning, especially when she's not medicated. It's not pretty. That's life. For some people, they want to have that college degree. Oh, God bless you for having shared that story earlier today, Laura, because truly it is one of those things where we may not have the money, we may not have the education, we may be working 3 jobs, but if we have something that we want, understand that each day, as long as you take a step, whether it's read a page out of a book about something that interests you, you're that much closer to getting whatever you want. Life does not have to stop you, but it may slow you down. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay, good. If you need to cough real loud, just do it now. Everybody, let's clap hands so she can do what? Do it. Nice and loud. Okay. Woo! Amen. God bless you.
Amen.
My goodness, that happens. So when we think about that life happens, what can we do? Embrace the fact that we may have to go a little slower than we'd like to. Who we are as leaders, how we lead in our lives, how we listen to our internal clock and decide, ultimately, I am the CEO of my life. Nobody else is the boss of me. I decide if I succeed. I accept that if I fail, it's because I didn't take that step. I must accept that about myself. I must be honest. This is the place where you're honest. If you feel it in your gut that something's not right, what are some of those terms? You say, I'm sick to my stomach when you're upset. Are you really sick to your stomach? No, it's just sick to my stomach. When I cry a big cry, come on. It's so cleansing to have one of those big ugly cries. Boogers are coming out all over the place, and your heart's racing, but it's right here. It's right here that we grab. And it's talking to you, you listen. And you say, am I being honest and loving with myself? Am I succeeding when I know I can? Am I dishonoring that higher power up there? This is believing yourself. For those of us that had really crappy childhoods, I'm going to say that word, because come on, it resonates with us. Life is so much easier later on because we've learned how to cope. Some people have a lot of difficulty with change. Those are the ones that had really pretty childhoods. And that happened. So every once in a while I said, thank you, Mom, for making my life so incredibly difficult, because I am where I am right now, and I can cope, and I can thrive. We cope, we survive, we thrive. CEOs, they're thriving, and they're getting a big paycheck. You want the big paycheck? Okay, good. Questions? Anybody ever say, Jake, come on, get real? Are any of you thinking get real right now? God bless, because I am true to myself, and I came here to be dead honest with you. And sometimes you gotta be dead honest with others, and I'm gonna tell you how to say no without making anybody feel bad. Would you like that?
Yes.
It's the good old-fashioned USA. First one is understand situation and action. Inspiration and action equals satisfaction. Inspiration without action is frustration. Anybody want to be frustrated? No. And it frustrates others if you're not willing to take action. Let's do that. It makes people feel happy. So the first thing is this. Somebody asked you to do something. Now, every once in a while, when leaders, especially when leaders in the room, people call upon you to do things for them because you're action people. And they call upon me, the school called upon me, and they said, Jake, we need a new person to handle the crab feed. It's the biggest fundraiser for our school, and we need a leader, and you can do it. And they went on filling up, trying to fill up my ego, right? When you're honest, you can't feed the ego, because you just say, I know who I am. That's the way it is. But the situation is, I have another path in life, and I really don't want to use my time there. We have priorities. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, by the way. So, well, she gets all these things done. That's because I have priorities, I know my purpose, and I'm going to get what I want when I want it. So what we do is, I had to say no. And I did this. I understand the honor and the responsibility of heading up the crab feed. I understand that you believe in me. The situation is that I am very focused on another project right now. I am. My priorities, my family, travel. I just simply put, I'm focused on another project right now. Now I've got to be willing to take action though. And my action is this. But what I can do is make 5 calls on your behalf if you would like me to. Or I can take any flyers that you print up, give them to my children, and have them put them on cars in the parking lots. We can do that. I mean, if you have children, put them to work, right? That's why I figure, all right, put them to work. That's what I can do. USA. I understand what you want, the situation is, and take action, even the smallest bit of action. Did anybody ever hear me say no? You think you might be happy that I said, well, I can do this for you? Even if it's the littlest thing. Isn't that fun? I love it. So, you know what? Can you fix my car for me?
Well, I understand that you have a car problem. Presently, I have a car problem of my own. I wouldn't mind helping you out, but if you will allow me to come back later, I'll act on it.
Nice. There it goes. Right? Anybody else? You want? I really need somebody to clean my house. I got a big party coming up, and I understand that you have a lot of cleaning supplies.
I understand. you have a problem. Unfortunately, I'm working on the same situation right now, preparing my mother's home for sale. So I can help you at a later time, or perhaps one of my friends will be willing to come over and assist.
And let's get a little bit more specific. And I have 2 friends I can call and see if they want to, or I have 2 phone numbers I can give to you. So we get away from perhaps, if you can. You got the idea though, right?
I like that.
You like that. Okay. People do not like the words attorney. They don't like the word no. They don't like the word but. So anytime you can not use those words, go for it. You know what else I don't like for CEOs? You are not busy. You are focused. Busy. But, so, you know, you are focused. So anytime you find the need to say busy, CEOs are focused on their priorities. Want to know 2 other words that CEOs don't use? Kinda. I'm kinda busy. I kinda feel. I kinda think. Honest statement. I feel to X degree about. I feel tired. I'm not kinda tired. I'm tired. I'm not so tired that I can't stay up and listen to your story. But I'm tired enough that I'm not coming over to clean your house. Right? So that's another word. And then one that I absolutely discipline. Right? I don't want to be disciplined. I want to have good habits. So we can have bad habits and we can have good habits. So let's take discipline out. I don't discipline me. Don't tell me no. And don't discipline me. I want to hear possibilities because I can act on them. Right? And a good habit will last you a lifetime. I have a habit of coming up in front of groups and looking out at you and smiling, feeling good, and hoping you're feeling good as well. I want to thank you for letting me be up here today and sharing this time. Give yourselves a hand.